Fanboys and fangirls, we are back! We are back, fanboys and fangirls! What is going on, everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to yet another two-time live episode of Technoid. And oh boy, who have we got a show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. After fresh off of last night's great show, how much more can we top it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to top it in a big way. Now, real quickly, let's get this BS out of the way. First things first, follow me on Twitter at Technoid12. That is where you can stay up to date on the latest of my tech show and also all my reviews coming in. Number 2, RogueEnergy.com. Get yourself some healthy alternative energy source. I support Breast Cancer Month when they sold this shaker. Breast cancer awareness, people. Check out Rogue Energy, promo code Technoid for 10% off. All right. Now we got the BS out. Alrighty, guys. Before I start the show, before I bring in our co-host and the man of the hour, I want to be honest with everybody here. I may sound a little cocky what I'm about to say, but I have worked my butt off for the last year and a half, from the pandemic to starting out on the internet. I feel as if I've put my heart and soul into everything that I've done. And I am so thankful for the journey that I have been given. I am so thankful for all of the people that have followed me, Latrell, Blaze, Sneed, everybody. And I am so appreciative to have continued and to have really worked hard and continued to strive to make a great show for everyone. And tonight is about to become a huge accumulation. It's going to accommodate into something that I never thought I would ever see in my entire existence here on the internet. And it gives me great joy to know that hard work pays off. And I encourage everyone to do the same thing. You work your butt off, you keep pushing forward, you do the hard work, and you get rewarded in the end. And I am so thrilled and honored tonight to tell all of you that a certain man, the leader of the Toilet Squad, has been a watcher, a longtime supporter, a longtime supporter of the Technoid Nation. I am, of course, referring to the one and only front page tech himself. But that's not enough. No, that's not enough. Y'all want to see Technoid and front page tech go at it. Y'all want to see that, don't you? Well, I am a man of the people. And I am here to tell you that you're going to get that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and a great privilege that today marks history. I'm being very enthusiastic right now. I am thrilled and honored to bring on for the first time ever a man who I have looked up to since the early days of my channel, a man who has grown in numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Journ himself, Mr. John Prosser, a.k.a. Front Page Tech.
Hello, I'm here. I can't believe I'm here. This is so weird. I opened up YouTube and I'm subscribed to you, and so I'm used to seeing new videos from you, except I'm in this one.
Hey, man, what can I say?
So weird.
We are given to the people tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this
You're
is
welcome,
it.
People.
Guys, this is a huge, huge moment for me, and I'm taking it in right now because
Thanks so
I still
much for
feel like
having me
I'm
on, man.
No, bro, listen. You have personally in the past, you told me you watched me.
Uh-huh.
When you told me that, I thought, he's crazy. Why is he watching me? He's better than me. But then to see that you've continued to watch me and you've continued to support me by continuing to watch, and now that you're here, it really, really means a lot. So thank you so much.
I'm pretty sure I sent you screenshot as proof that every episode I had watched.
He's not lying, people. So I believed you. I never needed screenshots or whatever, but it was just, it really warms my heart. So thank you for really believing in my channel, and thank you for being a part of my small community. But thank you, John. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
You don't need to thank me. You put in the work. You deserve it. And I watch the show because I like it. I think I told you right before the show that I don't remember how I found you. I think maybe from Twitter or something, but I was like, yo, I know. You covered one of my leaks. That's how I found you. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I was, because any tech news show, I'm like, who is this? What are they trying to do? And then I'm pretty sure after like the first minute, I was like, okay, so this is pretty good. And then I just watched every episode since then.
Hey, listen, when I knew the moment when I remember exactly what leak I covered. It was I believe it was an iPhone, or it was probably early days, one of your earlier videos.
Yeah, I feel like I've been watching you for a while, like well over a year.
This was before you had the website. So I was covering you before you had the website, before you even a source. I said, I think John Prosser is 100%. So that's when I said I'm going to take it and use it as source and obviously give you credit for it. I never knew that was going to get you in, but
yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, it was. Right. I think it was the early days, like maybe iPhone SE stuff. I feel like it was around that time.
Yeah, I feel like that. Man, it feels like a century ago, but now that we're here, it's all brand new.
It has been.
Alrighty, enough talking. I've already blabbed on for 7 minutes. Let's bring in the co-host for the night. I am, of course, joined by the returning TA Tech. What is up, TA? How you doing, my brother?
TA Tech, we'll give him a little... Can you hear that?
There you go.
Thanks. I'm doing well.
And of course... Oh, it's good to have you, my friend. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for returning. And of course, the man with a receding hairline, but he just hides it with very good barber shops. Your barber needs a raise because he probably has Tourette's. Mr. Sneedmobile Tech himself. What is up? That's our little brother.
See, this is why our people don't have anything, man. We don't know how to go on live stream properly.
Alrighty, guys. So as you know, I put on the best shows possible. So tonight is no shy of different. We are gonna have a great show. John, thank you again for coming on. Thank you for our returning host. So let's not blab anymore. Let's start with the first topic. Topic number 1. Let's ask the Journ. That's the first topic of the night.
God, it's a segment.
So, all right, I gotta pull an office meme. Like right now on the inside, I'm doing like Steve Carell. It's happening, people. It's happening. All right. Okay. So the first topic, Journ, Mr. Prosser, I gotta ask you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are asking you this now as well, but you have relatively become a very reliable source in the tech world right now.
You could say.
Your credibility has proven to be, at least before the companies decided to do a last minute change, has proven to be on point. You're around the same credibility.
If they do a last minute change, the hell was that? Did I just get COVID live on the stream?
No, that was a frog, dude. That's all that was.
If companies change things last minute, we usually catch that too, and then leak that. So, like Samsung just moved their dates by like 10 days. And we were like, okay, fine, and tweeted that too.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that Samsung would definitely do something like that.
Yeah, but they did. They was like, I think they cited some supply chain issue, but moved it like they just the announcement they moved back by like literally 24 hours, but the release they moved back by 10 days. So I don't know what happened in the supply chain to only cause that sort of a change, but I mean, at least that's all it is for now until they like, oh no, it doesn't come until 2023. Sorry.
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about supply chains. Being in my college in the business field, we talk about supply chain very heavily when we talk to courses. So hearing you talk about it and me talk it, it's no longer like two different worlds. I can finally understand everything.
Yeah.
But John, there is one thing that you have religiously been talking about and a lot of people are talking about. It's this punch hole iPhone. John, I got to ask you this question, brother. Okay, I'm going to say this nicely. I'm not saying you're a liar. I don't think you're a liar.
Okay.
But John, I have to ask, where is this news coming from? Why is this all of a sudden becoming a real thing? Like people actually believe Apple's going to put a hole punch on an iPhone. And I'm going to let you answer in just a second. But here's why I'm on the fence about it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think for me, I don't think Apple would do that because they just put a notch on a MacBook. They are seeming to go all in on brand recognition because it seems like that is the way that they're headed. But also for me, if you put a punch hole on an iPhone, it takes away that if you look at other competitors, it's the same thing that they're doing. It wouldn't distinguish as an iPhone unless you turn the phone over. So I've had a little bit of reserve on believing the rumors, but at the same breath, I know how credible you are with your sources. So I have to ask, why is it that everybody seems to really believe this report? And are you confident enough to say that it's possible or maybe not so much anymore?
Oh, I'm 98% 0.9% positive that's what we're getting. And I think people are starting to believe it more and more because now I'm not the only person saying it. There's been other people that have come out and corroborated that report, saying that there's going to be a hole punch. The model that I saw, keep in mind that when we make renders like this, like you're showing here on the stream, we are modeling those images or those renders from images that we've seen. And some of our stuff is like, maybe we'll fill in the blank by what a source is saying. Like, hey, maybe they're saying a hole punch is coming, but most of what we do is something that we've seen with our own eyes. That's how like our Pixel 6 renders were completely accurate. You'll see Pixel Watch renders were completely accurate. It's because we had actual images of these things. We just had to recreate them in digital 3D renders. I do agree with you that it's less recognizable. I don't know how they plan to combat that. The only thing I can think is, the bezels will still be small and they'll be uniform, whereas a lot of Android manufacturers struggle with keeping uniform bezels all the way around the device. There's usually a chin or something weird going on. And also the square edges. Those are also recognizable. I saw someone ask about Face ID. Face ID. It's kind of impressive what they're doing. They're sort of contracting Face ID down to a single module. So right now there's a bunch of different sensors that are lined side by side, whereas a couple of those they can actually merge into one sensor. And that'll help. If we were having a notch again this year, you would expect to see it get smaller because of that. But instead, they're able to actually place that under the display panel itself. So the hole punch is not for Face ID. The hole punch is for the camera. They want to make sure that there's nothing obstructing that view of the camera, so that you get the selfies that you're used to at the quality you're used to. Whereas the Face ID module will actually be under the display itself. And this will be only for the 14 Pro devices. So 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, iPhone 14 regular and iPhone 14 Max or iPhone 14 Plus, whatever they're calling it, that will still have the notch. It'll have the same notch that we just saw on iPhone 13. So a lot of people question it because, they just made the notch smaller. Why would they get rid of it next year? Well, because they're not. The notch is still going to be around for the first two phones. It's only the Pro devices that are getting that hole punch.
So, John, what happens to pricing?
I would. So,
like your prediction, I know it's going to be a prediction.
I mean, I would expect it to stay the same. What we have to keep in mind is it's not like they just made this up now and then we're like, okay, well, the only way to sell this is to increase the price. A lot of the reason, and people complain about features that we don't get a lot, like, it's over here in the Samsung Galaxy P90X or whatever the hell, but it's not over here in an iPhone. A lot of that is not because Apple is incapable. A lot of it is because Apple has to produce these devices at such a scale that these other companies don't have to. And they have to manufacture it at like 100 million units, and they have to keep it at a certain price. That price that the consumer has to pay is a lot of the reason why Apple will not implement a feature, because it makes the phone too expensive to produce, and they're not willing to hike the price up a crazy amount for the consumer. So a lot of these features don't actually get implemented until they know they can keep it at the same price. So they wait for the tech to like mature a little bit, get better, and make that manufacturing cost come down. So I would expect the prices of the phone to be around the same. If anything, if they were to go up, it wouldn't be because of a hole punch. It wouldn't be because of the new design. It would be because of that chip shortage that we're having right now, and they're having issues manufacturing it on the back end. And if so, I would expect maybe a price increase of like maybe $100. But either way, I wouldn't expect anything over that. Their goal is always to keep it around the same, and either keep it the same or bring it down a little bit. And they try to do that with their entry level models. And I think that them releasing like an iPhone SE next year, another thing to keep in mind, they're releasing iPhone SE 3. That gives them a little bit of leeway to bump up the price a little bit on the Pro models, because they can always say, hey, if you want the lower cost one, if you want the cheap one, we already made one of those. So if you want the Pro one, you pay a little bit more. If anything, I would expect a $100 price increase, but my gut says it'll probably be around the same.
Wow. Okay. That definitely made me think a little differently. I'm not
Can we do one follow-up question to that? Can we do one follow-up?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, follow up.
John, does the iPhone SE 3, does it replace in spirit a pre-existing model, or is it going to be something new to the lineup that we really haven't seen yet?
No, it's disappointing.
Oh,
Nobody
man.
should be excited about it. It is
So
the
it's
exact
LCD.
same thing.
It's
Yeah, so it's LCD.
Yeah,
it's the
that's
same
what I
exact
have.
design. It carries the same. I mean, I have a picture of it. You want to see a picture of it?
What? Let's see.
man.
I'm
He's gonna pull up the iPhone. He's gonna pull up the old SE. He's gonna
That's the
put it right-
thing. I haven't posted it. Let me try to find it. I haven't posted this picture because it's like,
Bro, we getting a first time exclusive on Technoid. Everybody better share this out.
yeah.
Put it on
So
a
this
solo
is
layout. Solo
this
layout.
is the image. This is the iPhone SE3. I don't know if you can see that.
Whoa.
Solo layout, Mike.
Oh, hold on.
And-
Solo. I'm gonna make John
Make sure there's
solo.
nothing in here that I shouldn't. Oh, should probably cross some stuff
let me
out.
get the Jern. Give me 1 sec, Jern. I'm gonna put you on full screen for a second.
Okay, yeah,
Whenever
you do
he's
that, and
ready.
I gotta cross some stuff out. Got to protect the source live on the air. Here we go. All right, I think that's good. Software version, we'll cross that out. All right, we're good. So I haven't shared this image publicly because if you see it, you're just like you will rarely believe that this is like, you know, the new one. This is the iPhone SE3. You can see it has it's iPhone SE in the product name. I crossed out model number and stuff like that to protect the source, but it looks the exact same. So the SE3 is going to literally be the exact same thing that we got with the SE2. It's not going to be any different. It'll have 5G, and that is about it. It'll have 5G. It'll have a better processor, and that is it. And then, believe it or not, 2023, it'll still have LCD. We're still having LCD in the iPhone.
That's crazy.
LCD doesn't go away on iPhone until 2024, as far as I know.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think Michael's muted. He's talking, but I can't hear him.
Yeah,
Nope.
he's muted.
He's gone.
Well, see you later, buddy. We're gonna hijack the stream.
Still muted.
Still muted.
Can't hear him. I think his dog unplugged everything.
You chewed up something.
Probably.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, and I think so. It's the same size too, which is another thing. There have been reports that it's going to be called the iPhone SE Plus, even though the size is not changing next year. That's the crazy
It's
thing.
still the same as the old
Yeah.
iPhone
Yes.
SE.
It's
Are we
yes.
good? Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we're good. We're good now.
It's
yeah,
still
the
a
dog,
4.
dog literally pulled the wire out.
Really?
I'm not even
I was a
joking.
joke at first.
So,
Hey,
John,
listen, shout out to
basically, this
Technoid
is
Junior. She's all over the place. She's crazy.
so this is going to be the most profitable iPhone they ever sold because they're literally recycling old parts at a warehouse. They're not changing anything.
That's how. Yeah, I think people don't realize how
They're
smart
just
that
throwing in
was.
the
They're like,
processor, right?
yeah, they're like, how could when the iPhone SE came out, it was like what was it, $350, $400, something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people were like, you just sold the iPhone 8. This is this is basically the iPhone 8, and the iPhone 8 was significantly more expensive. How can you do this? It's because it's been manufactured for years. Like, to manufacture these parts, they have to build machines that build these parts.
Exactly.
And after the machines are so old and the technology is so old, they literally just have to, like, recreating a phone from years ago means the cost right now is so low for them. And it's going to be a big phone for entry level users that aren't, obviously that phone is not for us.
John, what do you think? $599, $499,
Yeah, it'll be $399, same thing.
$399. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and it'll have 5G, and then the next year we're getting basically the same thing at a larger size. So I think the last year for LCD on iPhone is next year or 2024. I can't remember, but it's going to be around for a little bit. And then whatever, it helps them keep the cost down for those
Sure,
entry level
yeah.
users, I guess.
Yeah.
For the 5G, real quickly, would they be using only sub 6 5G or millimeter wave like
They'll
Verizon?
put the whole thing in there, man. They don't play
yeah,
around.
millimeter
Apple
wave.
puts the whole.
Also,
thing
they're gonna
in
put the okay. So that
Yeah, keep in mind this is the only upgrade for this phone, so they're going to go all the way with it.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say you have definitely changed my opinion a little bit on the reports because I think the swaying point for the 14. Focus on the 14 for a second. I started to believe it once I started hearing the reports from the supply manufacturers that they were receiving orders from Samsung. So at that point, that's when I started saying maybe this is a real deal. Maybe it started to sound legit. But now that you've explained it and I understand it a lot better now, I think I'm starting to come over just a little bit more now. But it's going to take a little bit more time because I feel like I am in that majority that's still not trying to think it's not going to happen, but don't want to set a high expectation, because religiously we've seen when you set a high expectation for Apple, you're definitely going to fall flat on your face. And
every time.
I am not.
I mean, next year is going to be a huge year overall. Like they have a lot of stuff in the works and a lot of upgrades are coming. And like I said, it's odd for them to offer, like, so far these phones, at least from the front, have mostly looked the same. Like the iPhone 13 series, it looks the same. I mean, tech people like us, we understand the differences. We know that, you know, the base models have a glossy back as opposed to the matte one, or aluminum sides compared to the stainless steel sides. This will look different to every consumer. Like even regular consumers, they'll see the front of these phones and be like, okay, this one has a hole punch. This one kind of looks like the future, and this one still has the notch on it. And I think it's going to be an interesting year overall because they have a lot of Mac stuff coming. They have 3 new Apple Watches coming. So it's going to be it's a very interesting year. And keep in mind that this 2023 they also are getting rid of the Mini. There's no iPhone 14 Mini. It's like.
Yeah, but John, that thing just didn't sell, man, at all.
I know. That's the thing that sucks. Like, it's such a good device, and even someone like me that loves the Mini, I don't use it, so that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. I will say, you know, I think the Mini was a very good experiment, but I just don't think that the demand was there. I think the performance, but there were a lot of things that didn't work in its favor. For starters, the battery was just not there. The notch on a tiny phone like that. I think that the 13 did it better, but I just don't think the demand was there. So I think, in all fairness, the 13 Mini deserves. And I feel so bad. TA's just sitting there waiting to get his thoughts. And TA, I'm gonna let you go. What you got to say?
Nah, man. You know, I definitely think that, like, it's gonna be good to get a new phone. I would honestly, I've always said this. I'm really glad that they're doing the older designs, because there's a lot of people out there who, to this day, like, we've had this design for the iPhone for how long, and you know, people keep complaining about the notch, this, that, the other, and they keep going back to the old design, you know, liking that better. So, you know, I think keeping both designs is really good for the people who don't want to change. So, and even the different sizes as well. I think having an SE Plus would be really good too. So that's something I can't wait for.
Yeah, we'll have a larger SE in 2024, but as far next year's just going to kind of, for the SE, it's sad. it's a good phone for your grandma. That's about it.
People lied though, John. They said give us a smaller phone, you know, give us a Mini. People lied. They didn't buy it. They didn't respond to it. They were loud. They said give me a smaller phone.
Yeah,
they didn't go out and buy it.
It's very interesting because Apple, like, you know, in the Steve Jobs era, Steve was more like, we're just going to tell you what you want, especially since, you know, his vision for the iPhone, no one could have comprehended and understood. They were just like, no, the phones we have now, these are the future. We'll just, I don't know, we'll put Windows on them. It'll be like Windows Vista on this phone. It'll be great. And then, you know, him introducing the iPhone, he was someone that was like, this is the future. This is what you want. And then he could convince you to want it. This version of Apple listens a lot more, which is very interesting because they're like, okay, you want a small phone? Here's a small phone. And no one gave a shit. And I think that it really got a bad rap because of the first year, because the iPhone 12 mini had terrible battery life. They fixed that this year, you know, with the iPhone 13 mini, but the people that took a chance on the small phone the first time got bit in the ass because the battery sucked. And even though the new version of the 13 mini has better battery.
Wait, there's a 13 mini?
Yeah, there's a 13 mini.
You didn't know that?
What?
Bro, I'm telling you, I can't believe that these phones are in production. Nobody buys them. I've never seen one.
The 13 mini is significantly better with battery life. Like, the main issue that was the main problem that the mini device has is fixed. But the problem is everyone got a first impression from the 12 mini, and the battery sucked on that. And they probably don't even know that the battery life has improved.
Yeah, but John, the entire lineup has incredible battery life now.
Yeah.
You know, like it was across the board.
Well, you see why that's the problem.
Can't die, you know?
The 12 lineup was pretty good, and the 12 mini absolutely sucked. So it went from like pretty good battery life. There was no in between. It was pretty good battery life, and oh my god, this one sucks. And now they're all pretty good, but the people that took a chance on the 12 mini aren't going to buy the 13 mini because it's conditioned in their brain that it has terrible battery life.
Bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, bad taste. And it's hard with consumer perspectives because when you're trying to win back, you could make as many improvements as you want, but once they know something that they won't like, they won't go back for it again.
$700, $800 is hard to just like try again. If you're going to spend your money, get something that you're confident in.
At that rate, I'd rather just buy, the 13 Pro or Pro Max at that rate. And hell, I know Sneed joke, and I know you don't know that the mini exists, but hell, they probably sold more than a OnePlus device did all year.
Oh,
come on, man. How you get it? Bro, that's low-hanging fruit, man. Are you serious, man?
I mean, to be fair, the 13 mini sold more than probably any single Android device. The issue is that, it's competing with itself. And, when you have the iPhone 12 or the iPhone 13 that is absolutely killing it, it just becomes like, okay, should we keep producing this phone to sell 20 million of them, or do we just increase the size, make it a regular size, and sell 40 million?
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I agree with that 100%. But real quickly, John, speaking, because now we got to dive into the Android world, and I know some of your Android fans, I know they're going to get pissed off. Definitely some OnePlus fans, because this was something I wanted to talk to you on the show last night, but you weren't able to make it, but thankfully you came. But we were talking last night about OnePlus. Now, I've been getting a lot of hate from a lot of users talking about how I've berated OnePlus, that I am not being fair to them. I get called everything from the dictionary. I'm swearing they must eat the dictionary for a living, because the words and stuff that they've told me is some stuff off the charts. But I don't really care, because it's not my fault that OnePlus is failing. It's not my fault that they came to the American market and made a huge buzz how they were going to take over. They were never going to settle. They were going to do a lot of things, and now they're falling flat on their face. And I'm like, listen, they brought this on themselves. They depended heavily on YouTubers. They did not depend on marketing. The average people that watch television at home on a cable promotion with carriers, because one of the key things, if you're going to sell a device, Miles, stop. If you're going to sell a device in the United States, you need to rely on the carriers. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. We don't have 4 anymore, so it's 3. And they only relied on 1, with the exception of its subsidiary, Metro. And I thought, for me, the problem with OnePlus is that there's no longer any distinction, because now it just feels like it's just everything that we've seen now. And they went from making flagship-like phones to basically just already been there, done that phone. And I wanted to ask you this last night. I think that they're on their way out. I think that they're on their way out of the American market. I don't think they're going to last another 2 years. Maybe they get lucky. But I want to ask you, do you see them leaving the American market? What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
I think it would be a really stupid idea for them to leave the American market, but I agree with you. I think I don't know if you're expecting me to disagree, but I completely agree. They're not the same company. And I think OnePlus's issue, where things really went wrong, is they stopped trying to fit into people's lives, and they tried to force people to fit into their business model. And it doesn't work like that, because when OnePlus sort of skyrocketed and all the attention was on them, it was because they were fitting into other people's lives. In a world where, devices were going up in price, they made a device that fit into the lifestyle of so many other users in China and India, like that they don't want to spend $700 on a phone. And that was the big deal about OnePlus, was that it looked like they were listening, that they were making devices for these people. And there's a good saying in content creation that I always follow that applies to here. It's, if you try to reach everybody, you will end up reaching nobody. And it's sort of an analogy for finding your niche and trying to meet a certain demographic halfway. Stop trying to put content out there and be vague to reach everyone, because in the end, you're not specific enough and you'll reach nobody. That's sort of what OnePlus did. They were making stuff that was specific and dialed in, and it reached the perfect demographic. And it was like they had this back and forth with the demographic where it was a complete understanding, and they were making devices for those people, and they lost that at some point. They stopped making devices like that, and they just started trying to make it for everybody. And there is too much going on right now. There's too much competition for them to be just fucking around and trying to make the devices that they're making now. It's just not good enough anymore. And I think somewhere along the way, there was just this massive disconnect where they stopped listening, and they're just making devices that they want people to use, but people don't want to use them. There's too much competition, and there's so many other companies that picked up where OnePlus left off, where they answered all those unanswered questions, where they learned from OnePlus, but actually did it the correct way. And like Redmi, Xiaomi, like all these companies are doing such an amazing job filling the shoes that OnePlus sort of just left there. It was like nothing happened on accident. OnePlus dropped the bag, and it's on them. And I don't think that they could do anything at this point. I think it's too late to backtrack. And I agree with you. I don't see them being around for too much longer, at least in the US market. I just don't think it's working. And I think it's too late for them to change anything yet.
So John, here's what I believe in. This is what I've seen, observed in my 30-odd years on this planet. People make decisions at companies. The company doesn't make a decision. There's a leader, there's a decision maker, and if they make a decision and then they're forced to pivot and deal with those repercussions. The new decision makers at OnePlus made bad calls.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you take the top 5 things that OnePlus did well for the first 5 years of their releases in North America, those 5 things are no longer there.
Yeah.
Right? Those
you
things
can
that
see
they
why
used to
Carl
do good.
left too.
Sure. Of course.
I talk to Carl on a regular basis too on Twitter, and just sort of like DMing back and forth. And it's just like, I think he could see stuff, happening behind the scenes, and he just wasn't into it anymore either. And I think things were getting away from him, and OnePlus just wasn't moving in the direction that he started. And it's very, very obvious now. And so he'd rather go off and do something else where he can actually go after a certain demographic or a certain market that needs those answers that OnePlus used to provide, because they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I thought the moment I realized he gave up on OnePlus was the moment he went on Marcus's podcast and revealed the Nord to the world. I originally thought it was a marketing ploy, but the way his expressions when he showed the phone, like he just didn't care it was here.
He wasn't proud of it. Yeah,
he wasn't proud. Exactly. I actually crapped on him when that happened, because I'm like, this is a phone you're trying to build hype for, and you just go on a random podcast. But after looking back and looking at what OnePlus has become, I look back at that and I said exactly what you said. He just doesn't seem like he was into it at the time, and his behavior now, we kind of understand. And don't get me wrong, OnePlus has potential still, even with all the problems that they have. The Hasselblad partnership has proven to be a very good one with their cameras, because there's a user, OnePlus guy, or Altered Tech. He posts some amazing, some photography pictures with Hasselblad's, software integration. So there is room for them to continue that partnership. But listen, I think that the moment OnePlus died was the moment they went full flagship on the 8 and 8 Pro. I think that was the moment when they said there was no going back. But I also got to blame the consumers as well, because you reap what you sow. You ask for so much, you get it, but you don't like what they give you. There you go.
Well, it's like, okay, if they came into the market making these devices, cool, would have worked out. But it's like being a landlord and being like, okay, here's a place you can rent. It's $400 a month. And then being like, actually, no, I'm increasing the price to $1,000 a month.
See?
And then the people go, well, I have to move out. And you're going, why not? Just stay and live here. Just pay me $1,000 a month. And they're like, you don't get it. I signed up. I signed this lease for $400 a month because that's what I could afford. And you ripped the rug from under me. And now you're asking me to pay $1,000 a month. You missed the point. I can't pay $1,000 a month. And that's what OnePlus did. If they were always around making devices that were $700, $800, $1,000, they wouldn't be as popular, but they wouldn't be at such a stalemate with their own demographic. The issue is they built this loyal fan base and then turned their back on them. That's what happened.
You know what's crazy, John? You explained it perfectly. That is a great analogy. There used to be a perceived value play in the device price points. You remove the value play, and now you made it a flagship, and people are saying, make me buy your phone over a Galaxy.
That's exactly the point. You price it at the same, and you're like, okay, well, if I'm going to have to spend $900 on a OnePlus phone, why not just get this iPhone over here?
Yeah.
No, I agree. And the last thing I could say, excuse me, the last thing I could say for OnePlus, I think one of the biggest downfalls, I mentioned it just before, was that they did not invest on the general people, the average people. They were focused on the techie, the YouTube side. Because if you watch, at the time, it was Dave 2D, MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, Jonathan Morrison, maybe. I don't remember. I used to watch all these guys on a daily. Now I don't even watch them. It's not even because I don't want to watch them. I just don't have time with work, school, and stuff. But I remember at one point, they were all pushing the OnePlus brand. They called it the greatest phone you could buy. It was
revolutionary.
It was revolutionary. Now their energy, their passion for OnePlus, it's like they're struggling to find something to say about it.
Because why would you promote an $800 OnePlus phone when you also have an $800 iPhone to promote?
There you go.
It's like
exactly.
And Michael Peppertalk is like, he's upset that we're complaining about OnePlus or whatever. But I think you're missing the point. Everyone's too focused on the micro. Like you're invested in your relationship with this one device without realizing that it doesn't matter how good the device is. That really good device is competing with other really, really good devices. And the proposition that OnePlus entered the market with is gone. It is not there anymore. In the macro, in the big picture, it's not your relationship with the device. It's your relationship with the brand. And I don't care how fascinating the phone is. I don't care. I bet if I bought a OnePlus phone right now, I would have zero complaints. I bet that my experience would be pretty good. And I probably wouldn't regret my purchase, but my experience still won't line up with my experience on my iPhone, and my iPhone's the same price. So it's not about if the device is capable. It's not about if the experience is okay. I don't want an okay experience one for the same price. I can get a great one.
I'm with you on that one. I don't got anything else to add at that point. TA, anything you got to say, my man?
No, man, no.
Well, since we're on the topic of Android, let's take a look at their competition and talk about Samsung. So one of the few companies that I look at that really can go to bat with Apple is Samsung, because they're a multi-company. They don't have to worry about their phone division. They've got everything. They've got refrigerators. They've got washer and disher sets. They've got everything. They don't need the phone department to make them bread and butter. But they've used the phone division to really push some good piece of technology, although some of them blew up in their pockets. But regardless of that, they have made some solid devices. And I talked about it yesterday, but John, you first revealed the S22 Ultra. You were the first one to really reveal that device. And when you did that, I was shocked.
Version.
What's up?
The correct version. Steve
the correct version.
Yeah, Steve from OnLeaks posted the wrong version.
Oh, there you go, Steve. Man, why he always got to do that stuff?
Well, what can you do? That's how the cookie crumbles.
There you go. But we got some dummy images. I want to just show you real quickly. We got some more infos on the S22 Plus and Ultra.
These are dummy units?
These are dummy units.
Okay.
Are they correct?
Looks to be correct, yeah.
Okay, thank God, because then I didn't want to backtrack.
Yeah, but, that's correct. The S22 Ultra is a thick boy.
I believe
it is so thick.
Yeah, mama go get that. Boom! Mama go get that.
Big.
But you know what?
Everyone wanted an S Pen. You wanted the Note. Here you
That's
go.
Right.
That's right. And
you
know something? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking of the iPhone 14 when you were talking, John. I might actually go back to Android. Like, I've enjoyed my tenure with Android. I had a great experience. The only reason I switched back was because of the integration with iOS. It was just easier.
Would you go back to? Would you use Samsung, like an S22?
I had Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I switched to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I'm still with the 12 Pro Max. I didn't upgrade this year. I stuck with it, but I'm looking at everything now. I'm more of an open person. I don't discriminate against anybody. Whatever operating system they use, I don't give a damn. I just use it because it's a better phone or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it works
not gonna lie.
So
And it works for me,
whatever.
exactly. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am kind of excited for the Ultra because this was, and I don't know if you've been watching me for a while, John. I don't know how long you've been watching me, but I've always said that if they combine the Note with the Ultra, that should be the Note line combined, because then you're giving the Note more purpose. Because by creating two different lines, you're putting a problem on consumers. Are you gonna buy the S Ultra?
You want
or
to
are you
be
gonna buy
upset real quick?
Let me hear this. Let's do it.
The same thing that Sneed said about everyone talked about a big game. They wanted the mini. Apple makes the mini. Nobody cares.
Yep.
That's the S22 Ultra. People talk so much shit. They have made this phone and it is not going to sell.
Damn.
That's my bet. I think that the tech people on Twitter will buy it, but there's not enough tech people on Twitter to sell, millions and millions and millions of units of this thing to make it worth.
But that's
it.
they're not. That's not how you sell phones. You sell phones to people that walk into carrier stores and walk into Best Buy, and they're just like, okay, I'll buy that, and they don't even ask questions
at a carrier
about it.
store. At a carrier store, everything is up against an iPhone.
Exactly.
And I think that the S22. The S22 lineup will do well enough on its own. I don't think that the S22 Ultra, I don't think that'll convince the average consumer. And the same reason why they got rid of the Note is the same reason why this isn't going to work. Just because they try to condense it into into one device and please some people. I'm sure people will be pleased this year. People seem to be excited. But the issue is there's not enough of these people. And I bet you that half of the people that are talking about this and they're excited about this are not going to actually vote with their wallet. They're not going to buy it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I will say, I am one of the few people excited. Maybe I'll pick it up, maybe not. I don't know. Depends on where I'm at the job in the next few months.
I think the idea, I think people are romanticizing the idea of the Note coming back, or them sort of making a version of the S22 that is Note-like, but at the end of the day, it's not the idea, it's the execution, it's the implementation, and I just don't think it's going to work out.
For me, though, maybe it might. I listen, that bet that you just made, I honestly think, and John, do you watch UFC?
Yeah.
You probably have a higher shot of winning that bet than anybody did against Nunes and Juliana Pena, so you probably got a better shot. But I will say, I think, though, it works out in some ways because of two reasons. Number one, simplicity in the lineup. You've got the S series and the foldables as like what the Note used to kind of be. So it takes up that August space and it kind of helps to like meet a demand. But I don't think the foldables are there yet either. But at least you condense and simplify, because Jesus Christ, they had the alphabet of smartphones in their lineup.
Yeah.
But another reason why it might work, and I know that maybe, I know most people like us, like you said, on a macro level, we all have to kind of invest with our wallets and really go out and buy it. But on a corporate side, on a corporate level, because I can tell you, I've had the privilege of doing a few internships during the course of COVID, online, virtual. And I can tell you, corporate wise, a lot of corporate people do like a S Pen on their phone. And it's not just a few. The whole firm is using S Pens with their Samsung devices. They even
corporate world loved their Best Buy devices too, and we know how that went.
The corporate world seems, and corporate by average in the state of New York is like 47 to 52% markup of Samsung's biggest sales, because they buy in bulk and sometimes even buy on their own personal device. At least that was the firm that I worked for. But I will tell you, I think it could, but you're absolutely right. We're gonna have to see how the sales turn out. Yeah. If they price it, like, I think it comes down to the pricing. If they price it at $13.99 or $12.99, maybe it might work, but I don't see, because another issue that I have is the software. Like, we all know Androids don't have the best software, how would I say this? They don't have the best track record, to say the least, because 3 years, then 4th year security patches. Apple's on 7 years of all OS. So they still got some uphill battles to go. But hey, listen, the jury's out on this one, for me anyway.
Yeah, I just don't see it doing well. At least well enough for Samsung. Keep in mind, like, their top selling phones are those A series devices. And it's another one of those things where Samsung knows their market, and this is not it. The Ultra, I think, will please a small number of people, and you'll get your YouTube videos, you'll get your people on Twitter praising it, but the mass market is not going to buy into this the way they think they will.
It's also very expensive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're not going to pretend like it's affordable.
Ask.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, boys,
especially when people consider the iPhone top of the line, and if you're going to give me a phone that's more than the iPhone, I'm going to be like, why? Why would I? But why would I spend this money again?
You're right. You're right. I'm with you on that one. Alrighty, real quickly before we continue, we are at the 47-minute time, so we got a few more stories, and then we will wrap this up.
By the way, Mike, I ran a poll. I'll get you the numbers on that.
Yeah, that's the numbers I saw.
Yeah, so do you like the idea of the S22 Ultra with an S Pen to replace the Note series? I'll let that poll run for about 5 minutes, and we'll take a look at some numbers. And Jern can be right, probably, because that's how I see it.
And listen, the SMT Nation is a bigger nation than the Technoid Nation, so their voices are a lot more bigger. But real quickly,
that's all.
Let's head on back over to frontpagetech.com. Because, by the way, John, congrats on the website, bro. It's a really good website, I gotta tell you.
We've taken some time off during Christmas, but yeah, it's a nice independent little media outlet.
It's a very, very. I'll tell you why I like it. For starters, if you watch my show, I always do casual alert on Forbes. I just love ripping Forbes on a daily at this point. But your website is humor. It's got humor in it. It's got. Everything you need. It's got that front page.
And it's already gotten me in trouble, so how nice is that?
There you go. Hey, 100%.
Yeah.
But
Samsung trying to take me to court over some stuff, which is fun. You know about that, right?
I've heard about it. I mean, I'm still in the process of catching up. It's not you, John. It's just
I haven't talked about it publicly a lot, but because I'm not supposed to, but here I am.
Well, let's
that makes for a good question, John. What is it like to terrorize companies like Samsung?
It does, that's a good question.
It's fun. I mean, I don't do it. I think people like so I like putting on the show. I like putting on a show, so I'll taunt the companies and stuff. But really, it's just a show for you. Like at the end of the day, my loyalties lie with the viewers and the people that follow me. And I don't care about terrorizing these companies or anything like that. I'm just trying to. We're all excited about new stuff, and I'm trying to publish information about products that you're excited about. Companies don't seem to like that. Like Samsung did not like that I posted real images of the S22 Ultra. They sent me just to imagine lawyers. It was their law firm that sent me a letter. Just to imagine lawyers sitting down and watching my shitty show and having to because they linked it in their letter to me. They were basically like they had a few different asks in that letter. One was any information that any further information don't share it. And then they wanted me to give up my source, which is not something they're allowed to ask me to do. In the U.S., we have shield laws that protect sources like that. They wanted me to remove the posts on the website, and they wanted me to remove the entire episode that I put up.
So they basically gave you a cease and desist.
Yes, and they were just like, if you don't, we hope to work with you and meet, just respect each other and do this mutually, and you take the stuff down. This doesn't have to go further.
Wow,
I did not do that. I did not. I didn't take anything down. I just feel like I felt like it would set a bad precedent because I think they believe that since I'm not The Verge, that I will cower down, that I will get scared, and I'll just remove all the posts. And that's not how it works. I understand my rights. I understood my rights before I published the information. That's why I publish the information the way I do. I protect the sources. I make sure everything is, fair and balanced behind the scenes. I don't solicit leaks. I don't pay for leaks. Everything is clean. So if you want to take me to court, I'll see you in court, and we'll see how it goes. I think that they have the idea that, and they're right. They could outspend me. They could just keep the case going until I run out of funds, which is something that they could likely do. But I would rather do that than remove the posts on their behalf because I have more. And I'm not gonna this is my career, I benefit more from sharing the information than I do from working well with these companies and just pleasing them. That's not the business I'm in. I'm in the business of pleasing the people that follow me, the viewers of the show. That's where my loyalty is. And if it upsets Samsung, okay, I'll see you in court.
So here's why I'm disappointed in Samsung. Number one, if they have a mole, that's their problem, and it's not you. They're being lazy. You know what I'm saying? That's like police waiting for you to call on people committing crimes instead of them looking for people committing crimes.
Yeah,
So
well,
what do
that's
you-
why
what do
they
you
asked.
mean?
They're like, "Hey, will you tell us who the source is?" And I'm just like, "How about no?"
I have less respect for Samsung ever after hearing that,
Mhm.
and I have more respect for you than ever because that sets a precedence. Now Samsung knows they can't get by you in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form, and they're probably not going to come at you with that weak shit anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
I would imagine not.
No.
And the one thing that I've always praised about your show, even from the early days, John, I remember, is that you were never afraid to say the things that people would not want to say. And
Hmm.
that was one of the few things that I carried over with my channel. I wanted to make that a fact because I obviously was still in my early stages of growing. So I did benefit by watching you and did take a few things. But the main thing that I wanted to do was cut the bullshit. That's my logo
Mhm.
in my show. 100% tech, zero BS. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing people always making defenses. I'm always sick and tired of hearing the stuff that we constantly hear on a daily basis. It's all talk and no action. So I
Mhm.
believe it's time to cut the bullshit. It's time to get down back to the basics and also respecting the fact that you could protect somebody and also standing firm in your belief. That's something that I always 100% respect.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I've
I think
always
that's where
respected.
it really. I think that's where it really comes down. Like, you can talk a big game and you can say this is what you believe in, but when the companies come knocking on the door, are
Mhm.
you actually gonna put the viewers first? And that's all I wanted to do. I have no interest in working well with Samsung or getting along with them. They can
Mhm.
whatever. If they want to go to court, let's go to court. Let's do it.
Yeah, and fun fact: when I when I posted when I was starting out with Soundcore, I made a post about some headphones that was not released,
Uh-huh.
and it was the Life Tune, I believe it was. I was
Was
still
it like a
covering.
leak, or did you just
A guy
accidentally go
sent me the
around
video.
embargo?
He sent me a video. He was a trucker. He drives around the country, and he went into Walmart. He saw the headphones, and he saw the website the same day, and he sent it to me, and I posted it. And at first, I thought it was the headphones, but then I checked back. I'm like, okay, it's a different model. I remember so many people would tell me, take the video down, take the video down. Soundcore's going to see it. They're not going to be happy. Take it down, take it down, take it
Mhm.
down. And I wasn't sure who these people were. They were just messaging me like randomly. But I said, no, I'm not taking it down. People, I mean, listen.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's create this analogy.
Yeah.
You find $100 on the ground. That is your money.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
found it. How is this any different? If you found something,
And the
and
guy who gave it to me was such a nice guy.
why
I
why
kept
don't
him
but why
private.
don't
I
the
didn't mention
principles
him.
why don't the principles apply to these other situations? Why do these corporations feel like and society doesn't have to follow their rule, like the way they want to conduct
Well, I
it?
don't think
Screw
Soundcore
them.
came at me. I just think that was just like everybody
Mhm.
coming at me. But
Yeah, it's really, it comes down to trade. It comes down to trade secrets, and companies want to protect that stuff, and they know it's not right. But if there's no laws protecting you, they will use that to their advantage because they want to suppress the information.
Sure.
Whereas, this is my job. I report the news. As long as I didn't pay for the leak or solicit it, it comes to me anonymously. I can do whatever I want with it. It's at that point, it's out of your hands. If you want to stop the leak, like Sneed said, stop it from internal.
Exactly.
Don't let it come to me. If you don't want me to get
Exactly.
the information, you don't want me to say it, don't let it get to my inbox. That's what you do.
yes, absolutely, 100%. Me, I've never had to worry about that because I've always just covered what you do and then just say you're the source.
You
So
say that now, but that's what I used to do.
well,
That's what I did. I just reported on the stuff, and then the stuff started coming to me.
I don't know if I'll ever get there, but if it ever did, I will definitely be coming to you for advice.
You know what the problem is, John? You know what this tells us is that there are people who are out there that work for these companies that are not necessarily happy with the way things are going at the company, because happy employees really don't always do these types of things. They typically play by the rules. They're not inclined to go out of their way to create these types of situations.
It's very, very risky. Like, for some of these people, especially depending on what position they're in, it's not just getting fired. Like, they could get you thrown in jail for trade secrets. And a lot of it, from what I have experienced, a lot of it is, I have maybe had a couple here and there that were just like disgruntled employees, but a lot of them are genuinely just excited. Like, they watch the show. They're fans of Front Page Tech that just also happen to work at these companies, and they're excited about the next big thing. Like, when I'm talking about iPhone 13, there are people from Apple that are watching. They're like, oh man, wait till he hears about iPhone 14. And they just come out and tell me, like, because they are excited and they know that getting the information out there will get everyone else excited too. And I think there's a little bit of a rush too. There's a rush to it. Like, am I going to get caught? Am I protected? And when the information goes out, and sure, it's my name in the articles on Forbes, your favorite place, Michael, or other websites. Sure, it's my name in those articles, but they know it came from them.
Yeah. And trust me, they will never be my favorite. If I have to kiss a toilet seat, I'll make sure, because I just love ripping Forbes. I love putting the casual alert. I do. That's my trademark right now. I'm bringing it back. So fun fact for next year's show, I'm bringing back casual alert.
It's awesome. I love casual alert.
Alrighty, we're almost out of time, guys. We got 3 more minutes, so I'm gonna wrap up this show. But we got one last topic to talk about, and then you fellas can hit the hay, I guess. I don't know, but I know I got some filming to do. So real quick announcement for those of you watching on my channel at Technoid. I am going to be finishing and polishing up the review of the AKG N400s. So that will be done by tonight, hopefully out tomorrow. Of course, we will have a few more episodes before we go on our little winter break, and then I'll be back for the redesign of the channel. John, I know you've got some redesigns coming, so I cannot wait to see what you do. And let's wrap it up real quickly. Final topic of the night. We talk about Apple. I think Apple was a very heavy topic on this show. So let's end it with it. So John, my final question to you, and TA, Sneed, and then I'll answer it last. Based on everything that we've talked about with the leaks, the reports, everything, what are your final thoughts on Apple heading into 2022? And what product of all these lines that I've laid out, from Max all the way to HomePod Mini, what do you think is going to be the biggest one to watch out for in 2022 besides the iPhone?
AR headset.
AR headset.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. No, definitely.
Sneed?
That's a big one, because that's a new lane. That's a new product. That's a new use case. We've got all this 5G, this new networking. All these carriers are promoting their services, and now you'll have a use case. And I think there's going to be partnerships in there for Apple too. And this is just one product, right? If they're releasing a set of AR gear, that means the prototypes are already out for Gen 2 in terms of production.
This is just the entry, because Apple Glass is next.
Yes.
There's this AR headset, AR VR headset, but then it's those glasses that are meant for you to just be a regular wearable.
You knew it was close, right, John? You knew it was close because you knew it was close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not. The interesting thing about this is, like, I'm not particularly excited about AR, or I'm not particularly excited about VR. But I'm excited about this product because I want someone to stand on stage and tell me why I should care. And Apple is usually really good at that. And so there's a reason why they want to enter this market. And I'm going to hope that it's not just to put out an AR VR product. I'm going to hope that they have a use case and a scenario that they can pitch to me as a consumer that will get me excited about it.
I have it for you, John, and I know what they're going to do. They're going to get the enterprise, business, education sector into simulations, right? So, like, before you go flying a plane, they're going to show you how to do this through, a different type of reality, right? So, like VR. And then with AR, you look at the social construct right now and everything getting pushed with this whole meta concept. Dude, this is on the verge of something. They're going to tell you everything.
I'm pretty sure Walmart does that too. Walmart trains employees with the Oculus headset.
There you go.
There you go.
And that's a big account. Think about it. Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Real quickly before I go, AI NanoBuzz 2.0, Luna, I will check those out. I will definitely give them a look in 2022. But for me, I was going to say the headset, but I'm going to differentiate just to kind of give a little bit of diversification. I'm going to go, I know it's not going to happen in 2022, but I'm hoping that Apple really builds on the HomePod lineup. Maybe it's just the audio side of me maybe it's just the audio side of me that comes out.
Like I said, HomePod.
Do those sell?
You could have picked anything.
I know. Look. Maybe it's because it's the audio part of me, because I've been
the HomePod with the displays coming, right?
That, yes, I know that's coming.
That's exciting a little bit.
That is. But what I'm just hoping is, at least in some universe, in some multiverse, because right now we're in the age of the multiverse right now. I'm just hoping that Apple kind of, I'm not saying pull in a Lexi. I gotta be careful because people's devices are there, and Google
I was
Assistant.
about to laugh and you'd be like, dude, you just said that way wrong.
My uncle traded me on that one. My uncle did trade me on that one. But I would like to see Apple I would like to see them expand the lineup. So, like you said, the screen with the speaker is nice. I think is that going to be like a combination of tvOS or a new kind of Home OS kind of software?
Bro, I have no idea.
You know what? I don't have an idea either. So let's just.
I think it's just an iPad literally taped to a HomePod.
Damn.
Just duct taped.
But I would just hope.
Shoot, if that's the case, I'll just grab my HomePod Mini and my iPad and.
Yeah, might as well do it now. Get the first one.
But I'm just hoping that Apple just maybe ups the build, better sound. Because I'm not a big fan of the Mini. I used it. I've had it for a year. Absolutely hated it.
I have one in every room like an asshole.
Damn.
I will not lie though. You know, it is good value. Like it's something easy you could just take out of the Apple Store because that's like the cheapest expensive product you could buy. Get what I said there? The cheapest expensive product.
Yeah.
But go get yourself an Echo Dot. They're like $20 a piece, and they probably are general betting sound. But if you want the Apple integration, I mean, they go that route.
Yeah, it's nice, like because all my smart home stuff is like linked to that too. So just telling you know what's her face to do all the thing. I don't want to say that Riri, you know, the person. Using that is helpful in every room, but it's not a great speaker. It's okay, but it's not $99 great.
I would hope that they.
It's nice when you pair them, isn't it?
Yeah, pairing them is nice.
nice.
I still have the OG. I still have the OG HomePods. I still got both of them. I put them up on my wall.
And that sounds good.
That was a nice experience. And now they've added spatial audio to it. I was like, where was this support 2 years ago? Like, I know they care for it now, but now it's too late. It's gone. But they're still giving it features, which is nice. And it's made it more like practical. So it's kind of a shame that they gave up on that technology. And I think me and you have said this on many times that even though it was not the best seller, it's a shame because of the technology that was inside of that HomePod with spatial computation.
You think it's the end of it. They're giving it updates for a reason, and it's because there's something similar coming. They're going to try again.
That's true. They're going to try again. Hey, listen, one woofer, 2 tweeters. That's all you need, Apple. 360. There you go. And with that, boys, and real quickly, Apple ditched the MagSafe battery pack. That sucks.
What do you mean they ditched it?
No, I'm saying I hope they ditch it. It sucks.
I use it. It falls off, but I use it.
There you go. But anyway, guys, we have reached the end of the show. Now, before we send you fellas off, I just got to do this real quickly. First of all, for those of you watching on Steam Mobile Tech simulcast, thank you guys for watching my show from Technoid. Thank you guys for tuning in, everybody. I want to thank TA Tech, the legend Steam Mobile Tech himself. And for the first time ever, I really want to take this moment to thank John Prosser, the Jern, the GOAT of the tech world, the man who is the true. You are truly the real Triple C because you got all 3 companies bending the knee right now. So Henry Cejudo better watch out. But John, I just want to take this moment to open up just a hair. Just a hair. I've always watched you. You've been a big inspiration for me since I was 18.
My condolences.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've been a big inspiration. Like I'd be at the gym working out, watching a video. I'd be watching it at home during the pandemic. So this is a true honor for me to be sitting here with somebody that really has.
John for me is one of the
I really appreciate it.
And I will always tell this to every guest. I don't care how big or how small you are. If you ever want to come back on my show, my DMs are open, invites are open. You ever want to come back? That's it. It's done.
Well,
I'll get you on.
If Sneed dies, I'll come on as the permanent
co-host. But like I said, man, if you ever want to come
taking
back,
my spot, man,
you're always welcome on. But anyway, guys, that's it for the live stream.
Can you commit to that? If Sneed gets hit by a truck or something, can I be the permanent co-host?
Dude, make the commitment.
Make the commitment. Let's do it. But anyway,
we'll do the first memorial show.
There you go. We'll do it in memoriam for the Steam Mobile Tech and his hairline. That's
Sneak, can you send me like black and white pictures just in case so I can make him a little memorial?
You want me to like lay down on the street like with one arm like this?
Yeah.
But anyway, Jern, I will let you end the show because this is a true honor, so you could go ahead and end it.
Oh, thanks for having me so much, guys. Like I said, when I jumped on the show, it was cool because you're in my subscription feed all the time. And being able to go on YouTube and see that you're live, but I'm on the show. Is kind of cool. And I don't do a lot of live streams, so especially like collaboration live streams with other people. But I think it was just on TA Tech's podcast, and then saw you reply on Twitter. And I was like, dude, like Michael was like, "Oh man, I wish you wish I would come on your show." And I was like, "Dude, I watch you all the time. Just fucking say it. Just say the word, and I'll be there." So it was an honor to have to be able to come on your show as well.
That's kind of like me. Like I never know if big people would ever come on to a stream like, you know, like my channel.
Well, you never know who's watching. Just keep that in mind.
You never know,
dude.
That's a fact.
Listen, you proved me wrong. You proved me wrong, John.
That's what I do. I like proving people
wrong. Yeah, that's the facts. Yeah,
I watch.
I still think about that day, bro.
Yeah. See, I watch your videos. I watch every single of Michael's episodes. I watch them all. So, and it's fun because like I forget because I'm just lurking and I don't comment or anything. But then when Michael's like, "Hey, I'd love to have you on my show," I was like, "Dude, you don't even know. I watch every episode of your show."
Well, it is great to hear that from you. It makes me feel that the hard work that I've put in, it matters. I've always felt
it absolutely does. Don't give up. Keep doing your thing. I think you're one of the best tech news shows online.
Bro, I appreciate hearing that. Thank you. And I hope one day, if I am ever big enough, I could give back to other content creators, like give them a chance to show their platform. That's why my channel's open. I always open it to anybody. Small, middle, big, it doesn't matter. You want to come on? Let's make some good content for the people.
Right.
That's all I care about, the people. And with that, we will close off the show. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Again, tomorrow, AKG N400 review comes out. Do not miss it. Anyway, guys, enjoy the live stream. Remember, the giveaway ends in 4 days. If you want to win yourself a free tub and shaker, Jern, you can enter as well if you'd like to participate. Get yourself a free tub of Rogue Energy or use my promo code Technoid for 10% off. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good night and